So, welcome to the next showcase on this channel. We are today on the Build the Earth Germany server. This is also one of the biggest servers in this project, and I'm here together with some builders, some admins. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So, yeah, we're here to take a look at the Germany server. So, yeah, let's go on. Where are we?
So, as you might recognize, we are in the Parliament Hall. And in the Parliament Hall, we decided to memorize all team members. So if you want to take a look, everything is carefully sorted, and all the player heads represent one member of our team and their profession in the Build the Earth Germany team.
Okay, so you take it as a Hall of Fame, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Where in which city are we?
Yeah, because it's the Parliament. We are in Berlin, of course. And if you wish, we can now go outside and discover Berlin.
Sure, let's go.
This is a building in Berlin called Reichstag, and this is where our Parliament, the Bundestag, takes place. It was built by this building, one of our admins. Also the building on your left, which is basically where all the politicians sit and work.
Well, that's a great idea to put like the Hall of Fame right into the Parliament.
Yeah, you know, because we as a team try to steer all the things exactly as the real politicians are doing that, and we also do that from the exact same place, which is this building. So here we are at the Brandenburg Gate. You can also see the Reichstag's building from here. And yes, I think this place is pretty famous. It was also this building with ISOAir and AnyFX. All of them are team members in our team.
It seems this is kind of the like the governmental district.
Yeah, the governmental district, exactly. They're also like the French and US embassy, and yes, of course, all the German parliament stuff. You may have heard of the famous Hotel Adnan, which is on the opposite side of the plaza from the Brandenburg.
It's the most expensive hotel in Berlin, I guess.
Yeah, I assume that also. I've never been there in the hotel.
Me neither.
I probably never will, but
luxury.
Yeah, sure.
I like that you have already started also to build like a subway, it seems like subway tunnels or subway entrances.
We do that. We can just quickly go down there. So here we are.
How far did you already build the tunnels? So is there more than just the station, or did you already build tunnels under the city?
No. Not now. And now that we are in the subway station, I think we can move on to the main railroad station. Here we are now at the Berlin main station and some surrounding buildings. It's one of the biggest rail stations in Germany, I think, after Munich, but it has different layers and stories, as you can see, and pretty much all of our team members are building here. It feels like that.
Hey, I'm Lex, and I'm one of the builders who decided to build the Berlin Central Station. So this is quite a huge building, which is also complicated in itself, with all the different kinds of levels and inner structures, which were a hassle to build. If you take a closer look at the building itself, you can see that you can actually quite easily divide it in 3 parts. You actually have the 2 parallel towers, I guess you can call them, which inhibit all kinds of bureaus and also the shops on the lower levels, which you can access. And you also have this kind of banana-shaped structure going through the towers, which is mostly made out of glass and covers the upper train tracks of the building. The Berlin Central Station is divided into 5 layers. On the top you have our glass dome, which has, as already said, rail tracks. Then you have like kind of a supporting layer, which also at the sides has shops. Then you have the ground layer, at which on both sides you can enter the building, and on the sides you have those shops again, as I talked before. Then you can go down a layer into the ground as well. Same as the layer above, it's also a supporting layer. And on the bottom you have one more layer as well, which actually also contains rails again, which are mostly U-Bahn. That means the underground train going through Berlin, as well as long distance railroads. Whole Central Station is like kind of a joke on the server because it's one of the oldest buildings which we started building in Berlin, and it's already taking months to complete, and now we kind of just set the goal that we want to finish it soon, but it's cost a lot of pain in general to all the people involved, and like we also jokingly say that whenever somebody starts building in the Central Station, he won't get out anymore until it's finished. That's why we also have such a big group of people actually trying to finish it, because everybody just wants to see it done. So quite a lot of people actually helping us right now to accomplish finishing it. Just to name some of them: Miss Emma, Tamerion, Emelgilo, Birne, and me.
This is the Cathedral of Berlin, built by, guess what, this building.
Nice.
Pretty
It's building a lot.
huge building.
Oh, you also built the interior of the dome.
Yeah, of course.
Can we go inside?
So we try to keep up that high standard of building, of course.
And we are also these are all really famous monuments and buildings, so
Yeah.
it's also really important that you keep on the details, so you can just like recognize them and add all the small stages and rail all the things that the building includes, so you can really recognize it. And you did a really great job.
We are now at what we call the Gendarme Market, with the State Opera and 2 cathedrals, which like look more or less the same.
I mean, it's great when people put a lot of passion and time into this project.
Yeah.
You can see how much you can create with that. Like we see how many great buildings we have just seen in the last minute. And we can see here again other great examples of building diagonal, because
Yes.
as I said 1,000 times, like the projection is not perfect aligned, so you have to build diagonal. You may think in the first place that it's hard to build diagonal, everything looks like crap, but you see all the stuff we've seen already is diagonal, and you can't even notice it when you just stand in front of it. So as said so many times, it's just still possible to build diagonal and let it look good. And you see all the times everything is diagonal and it looks like in real life, so it's no problem.
Exactly.
So then let's go on.
So we're here now at the Alex, which is a 2 tower, as you can see. The surrounding areas are not finished yet, but the tower itself is standing.
Okay, and this is also an iconic building of Berlin, right?
Yes, of course.
The TV tower.
So now we are in the south at Bavaria, Munich, and this is the town hall on this plaza is called Marienplatz, and was built by Woodley and Karl.
Hey there, Woodley here, leading builder of Munich on the Build the Earth Germany server. I've already built the Marienplatz in the center of town, and the zoo is currently under construction. The Marienplatz took me a lot longer than the zoo has taken so far, as I was still somewhat inexperienced with building at that point. After some time I grew tired of the Marienplatz and decided to begin a new project in Munich. As I've spent a lot of time in the zoo before, I quickly decided that that was my location of choice. I began with building the elephants enclosure and the surrounding area, which I'm yet to complete. I then moved westwards to build the jungle aviary. Sometime later I got a friend of mine, Ferex, to join the server. Together with him, the construction process sped up a lot, and we were able to construct the entire monkey house in just over 3 days. We then moved on to the reptile house, which I had already partially built at the beginning. Due to problems with the server being updated, that area took a lot longer than anticipated. In the last 2 weeks we built a large open enclosure on the other side of the river, and filled in the area in between with foliage and paths, and roughly laid out the entrance area.
Usually, yeah, you have usually buildings and all this stuff, and now you have just like these
habitats,
different styled habitats and buildings. They're just made for animals. It's just interesting to see, and it's like a park but with different stuff in it. It's just amazing, and it's well done. It just looks like a zoo. You can see it just looks great.
I will now hand you over to Electus, which is the voice of our YouTube channel, and he will show you Hamburg and Frankfurt.
So we are in Frankfurt now. I'm Electus and hosting this town. You can also find me on the official YouTube channel of BTE Germany.
That is of course linked in the description, and you will also find in the upper right corner right now. You can take a look at their channel. They have weekly updates on their progress, so if you're interested in Germany and their building progress, just check them out. And yeah, right.
And we are pretty much in the center of Frankfurt right now. It's called the Hauptwache, I believe, and there are all the stores and shopping centers and so on.
Do you know how many builders were participating in this area right now? How many builders are building in Frankfurt?
I think it's quite a lot, but I think in this area it was mainly Kalito.
Okay, so one person.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think he did the main things of this. So here you can also go underground and see a astonishing train station. I think this is also multiple layers with U-Bahn and
subway.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And I guess you also haven't built the tunnels yet, right? But you will too.
Yeah,
so
I think
subway
it's
tunnels.
just a few hundred blocks or so.
Okay. Okay, nice. Also some trains already built.
Now let's continue with the commercial district of Frankfurt with all the skyscrapers. So this is mainly the Commerzbank Tower, and this is the highest commercial building in Europe. I think it's like with the antenna on top 300 meters, so pretty high. And this was also built like the entire team, this building of course, and some others. So this is the airport in Frankfurt. This is the biggest airport in Germany, and you can see some maintenance spots here. And if you fly to the right, you can also see the terminal. And of course, this airport is really large. We can't show everything here, but I think you get a good view of how this will look like in the future. This is the EZB tower.
and this glass thing is really interesting to look at, and it's really nicely done by Milo.
I chose this building because it was different to being a plain, straight skyscraper. Soon I noticed that this was also the challenging part of the build. The 185-meter tall building is built in the architectural style of deconstructivism. This means there are a lot of random twisted surfaces and lines. With my limited knowledge of welded and convex, I wasn't able to build large twisted surfaces, so I used other methods like the line tool to connect different points on the building. For my block choice, I went with 3 different shades of blue stained glass, and put them in a random order. My aim was to give the player the illusion of seeing the skeleton that holds the windows in place. Soon after reading a lot of stuff about the building and looking at architectural plans, I noticed that the building was actually 2 towers connected by a huge atrium. So I had to divide the building. Next to the grounds was a famous market hall built in 1929. It was bought by the European Central Bank and was integrated into the campus. The 200-meter-long building was used as a marketplace for all kind of goods. All in all, it was a new building experience for me because I never built huge skyscrapers before, so I learned a lot.
So this is the second largest town in Germany, and you can see the modern district here, the Hafen City. And some of you also may recognize the Elbphilharmonie, which is a concert hall right in the center on the water. Tamerion and Nudelsuppe built all of this here. Really cool to see all these modern buildings.
Side to side with the brick buildings, right on the waterfront, right here.
Yeah, exactly.
On the opposite. So I guess this all should be water down here, right? You will fill this up.
The water is still missing, but this is easier to build without the water.
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah, I can believe.
This is the main shopping district in the inner city in Hamburg. This entire thing was built by me, and it is pretty big. I think I calculated 150,000 square meters lately. Yeah, this was like my main project here, to build all of these buildings. You can also fly a bit more west, and then you can see the Hamburg City Hall. There's the main parliament of Hamburg, and the city hall is, I believe, 112 meters high. So pretty huge, and this like the main skyline of Hamburg consists of these 5 or 6 towers that are that high. And you can see really far.
So this is the downtown, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, thank you for showcasing the cities. This was episode 1 of the German Build the Earth showcase, and tune in soon for episode 2, where we will take a look at the Norman area and the events they have already done. So, see you next episode. Thank you for showing around.